निषिद्धैरप्येभिः लुलितमकरन्दो मधुकरैः करैरिन्दोरन्तश्छुरित इव सम्भिन्नमुकुलः विधत्तां सिद्धिं नो नयनसुभगाम् अस्य सदसः प्रकीर्णः पुष्पाणां हरिचरणयोरञ्जलिरायम्. We are in the part where Ashwathama has just come to know that his father went through an insult right now, humiliation, right? So Drishtadyumna not only just killed him, but he actually pulled his hair or placed his hand on his head and then chopped off his head. So he asks Kripacharya, Kim tatasya duratmana parimrishtam abhut shiraha. He's unable to believe that someone could even have the guts to touch Drona's head here. So tatasya duratmana Drishtadyumnena parimrishtam abhut shiraha, was his head touched by Drishtadyumna. Sutaha sabhayam. The Suta, he says, Kumara, Asit ayam tasya tejo rashehe devasya namah paribhava avataraha. Yes, that's true that it was, and the first time such an insult has happened to Drona, who is like a tejo rashi. So Ashwathama, his grief is renewed here actually. So, he tata, he putra priya, mama manda bhagadeyasya krite shastra parityagat tatha vidhena kshudrena atma paribhavitaha. For my sake, you let go of your arms, weapon. So shastra parityagat, mama manda bhagadeyasya krite. So mat krite, for my sake, who am very unfortunate, and shastra parityagat, because you let go of your weapon, tatha vidhena kshudrena, he doesn't even want to mention Drishtadyumna's name here. By that, bad person, lowly person, Atma paribhavitaha, Atma here refers to Drona. Drona, yourself was humiliated. That is, you allowed yourself to be humiliated by that Drishtadyumna, Nicha person. Athava, Parityakte dehe ranashirasi. I think we have to start from the shloka. Parityakte dehe ranashirasi. Shokandha manasa shirashva kakova drupada tanayova parimrishet asankhyatastraugha dravina mada mattasya cha ripoho mamaivayam padaha shirasi nihitaha tasya nakaraha. Now the last line can be interpreted in two ways, but first let's look at the first two lines and then see how we can interpret the last line in two ways. Rana Shir
Drishtadyumna is not even mentioned, right?
He is not mentioned as yet. Before also it has not been mentioned. Yes. Drishtadyumnaha swashibiram ayam yati sarve sahadhum. Uktam cha atra. Nepathye.
Oh, okay.
So someone has mentioned from behind the screen.
Okay.
Nepathya.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Paribhavitaha refers to being killed.
Sorry?
Paribhavitaha means being killed. Was killed.
Being killed, being humiliated.
Oh, humiliated.
So he knows that his father was killed. See, Rane Maranam tu Yuktameva, that is fine. He could have accepted that. But the humiliation after having let go of his weapon, if someone came and took hold of his kesha and chopped him off, that is a humiliation for such a great archer here. And it is not according to the rules of the Yuddham also.
Right.
So that is what is hurting him even more. Parityakte dehe rana shirasi shokandha manasa shiraha shva kakova drupada tanayova parimrishet. So rana shirasi shokandha manasa dehe parityakte sati. When you have let go of your body because you were shoka andha manasa, shokena andham manaha. So your mind was completely blind towards what has to be done and what should not be done. Andham abhut katham shokena. Because of grief, your mind was completely, it could not think properly there as to what should be done and what should not be done. That is why dehe parityakte sati. So when you had Rana Shirasi so Rana Shiras here refers to him being the Senapati. As a Senapati, his duty would have been to first take up arms and fight. இது வந்து ரொம்ப பியூட்டிஃபுல்லா பின்னாடி Duryodhana and Karna will discuss this as they enter into the stage. It's very beautiful. Why did he leave his weapon at that point instead of fighting back? So here Ashwathama says Shokandha Manasa, because of either Hetu athava you can take it as an adjective to him. Yasya tena iti. Manaha yasya tena. So the one who has a mind which is andham, which is completely clueless, blind to anything that was happening there because of grief. So when his mind was blinded by grief, he had given up his body at that point of time. So given up his body in the sense he had sat down for tapas then and there. So parityakte dehe, when his body was let go, shiraha tasya shiraha shva kakaha drupada tanayaha va parimrishayat. It's okay if either his head was touched by shva, either a dog or kakahava, shvava kakahava, either a crow or a dog or drupada tanayaha. He equates Drupada's son Drishtadyumna to a dog or a crow here. So shva kakahava drupada tanayahava shiraha parimrishayat. They could have touched his head, that's fine. But then what they have actually done is asankhyata astraugha dravina mada mattasya cha ripoho karaha mamaiva shirasi nihitaha na karaha kintu padaha eva mamaiva shirasi nihitaha. So if you look at the anvaya here, this is an adjective to the enemy here. The enemy's ripoho padaha mama ripoho ayam padaha mama shirasi. So mama is here shirasi nihitaha. Okay, this is one way of looking at it. Na karaha, and then end it with na karaha. So someone could have touched his head, that is fine. But then if there was a point in the battle where he had dropped off his weapon and he had left his body, and after that someone had cut him, it is actually he had not placed his hand on Drona's head, but in fact he has placed his leg on my head. That's the feeling that Ashwathama right now gets. It's not an insult to Drona, but in fact it is a bigger insult to me as his son, who is living right now with that humiliation which is part of his father in the battlefield. So அதாவது அவன் தலையில கைய வைக்கல, எந்தல்லையே கால வச்சுட்டான் அப்படின்னு நம்ம நினைக்கிறோம். So he thinks it is a further insult to himself. Yeah? So asankhyata astraugha dravina mada mattasya tasya ripoho, the enemy tasya ripoho madamattasya, one who is matta, he is the enemy who is matta, intoxicated by the mada, pride, because of the dravinam, the wealth that he has in the form of astraugha. Astraugha here refers to the numerous different kinds of divya astram. Asankhyata, numerous. Astram is divine because there is a mantra purvaka shastram tu astram tatra. So astranam oghaha samuhaha tadeva dravinam rupakalankara here. So asankhyata astranam oghaha eva dravinam. Wealth, that his wealth, the enemy's wealth here is the divine astras, weapons that he has, innumerable divine weapons that he has, and because of this wealth, tad dravinena madaha vartate tasya. So tena madena mattaha, dravinena madaha, madena mattaha. So one who is intoxicated by the pride that he has because of the wealth he possesses in the form of extensive kinds of divine weapons. So that kind of a ripu, Drishtadyumna, his ripoho, tasya ripoho, Mama shirasi eva ayam padaha nihitaha na karaha. So his leg or foot has been placed on my head and not his hand. This is one interpretation. So the other way to look at it is ripoho shirasi mamaiva padaha nihitaha natu karaha. He may have placed his hand on Drona's head, but I will not be so forgiving and place my hand on his head, but instead I will place my leg and press him down. So kicking is a further insult, right? So he says, I will in fact place my leg on his head. This is the second way of interpreting it. One is to feel that the insult towards Drona is actually and further a bigger insult to me. That is one way of interpreting. The other way of interpreting is tasya asankyata astroga dravina madamattasya tasya ripoho shirasi. The shirasi adunatu ripoho shirasi iti anvayaha vartate. So on the head of that enemy, Mamaiva ayam padaha. Ayam something that is he has to show that leg and do it, like mama ayam padaha nihitaha natu karaha. I will not place my hand on his head. In fact, I am going to place my leg on his nihitaha iti shigrameva bhavet iti atra. Even though nihita is actually a past tense here, still நம்ம தமிழ்ல சொல்ற மாதிரி வந்துட்டேன் அப்படிங்கிறோம். When we say வந்துட்டேன், it means I have come. You won't even have gotten up from your seat. But it is immediate future. That means it is equal to you being present there. வர்த்தமான காலம்.
Is it left leg or right leg like that they mean?
அவ அது எது ஒன்னாலும் இருந்துட்டு போட்டுமே. எதுவா இருந்தா என்ன? இது காலை வச்சாலே இன்சல்ட் தானே. What does it matter?
So the second interpretation is basically about his revenge.
Yes.
And in the first interpretation, it is how deeply he feels the insult.
Grief, no? And the insult. Ama.
And the contrast of asankyata astroga dravina madamattasya ripu, that is because he's talking about, it's contrasted with his father who had laid down the weapons. Why?
அப்படியும், yeah, I think அப்படிதான் எடுத்துக்கணும்னு நினைக்கிறேன்.
In the previous shloka,
yes.
Say that,
yes. So, shastratta vittutu dane pandrar. So here, mama bhagadeyasya krite shastra parityagat. So once the weapons are let go, a person who has weapons should not fight with someone who doesn't have a weapon in hand. Adukkaga solra.
And in the Rana Shirasi சொல்றப்போ, I thought height of the battle, in the thick of the battle.
அதுவும் எடுத்துக்கலாம். நான் வந்து ரெஸ்பான்சிபிலிட்டியை வச்சுன்னு சொன்னேன். He has the responsibility of fighting back here and taking care of the இது. ஏன் எதுக்கு சொல்றேன்னா, பின்னாடி வந்து when Duryodhana enters, this is the same question that he says. He says, at the battlefield, when someone comes and tells you that your son is dead, someone has killed your son, wouldn't you want to take revenge? Instead, he has shown his jati dharma அப்படிமா. அதனால சொன்னேன் அதை. See, he's in a position of responsibility as a senapati. He should have taken care that there is no chaos in the battle at that moment, and he should have found out who was the killer and fought, like Arjuna, for example. Right. The first thing he did was to take up a vow to kill Jayadratha. அது பண்ணலையே. அதான் பரித்யக்த. Mahabharata is the most interesting itihasam எனக்கு. ஏன்னா there are so many intricate stories in it, and it will be fun to read the original. परित्यक्ते देहे रणशिरसि शोकान्धमनसा शिरश्वा काको वा द्रुपदतनयो वा परिमृशेत् आसङ्ख्यात अस्त्रौघद्रविणमदमत्तस्य च रिपोः ममैव अयं पादः शिरसि निहितः तस्य न करः. This is the
Shwava.
Shwa
And Kaka. Those are said just to say I don't care whether it is crow. Is that
whoever it may be. And also to indicate that Drishtadyumna, I look at Drishtadyumna as someone who is equal to a dog or a crow, because those are the things that go and attack a corpse. This is equal to that. So he had left his weapon. Means he is on his way to give up his body. Tapasi nirataha asit. Usually that's what we say, no? At that point of time, I don't know what the original says, but as soon as he heard the news, he left his weapon and he sat down in tapas is what is there.
In the original, if I remember Slokas, actually Drupada was supposed to have already left his body through Yoga Shakti.
Yeah.
Arjuna and Yudhishthira see a magnificent light going from Drona towards the heavens.
Only after that he cuts off his head. I've seen.
Cuts off the dead body, he cuts the...
So dead body in Karche, Shwa or Kaka, these two are the things that usually go like a parasite. Sorry. Duratman Panchala Apasada. The Panchala Apasada Nicha, one who is a lowly character in or a wretch of Panchala Desha. Duratman, wicked person. Tatam Shastra Grahana Vimukham Nischayena Opalabhya Tyaktva Shankam Khalu Vidadhataha Pani Masyottamange Ashwathama Karadhrita Danaho Pandu Panchala Sena Tulotkshepa Pralaya Pavanaha Kinnayatas Smritinte. Did you not think about Ashwathama at that point of time when you were placing your hand on my father's head? Tatam Shastragrahana Vimukham Nischayena Upalabhya. Having Nischayena Upalabhya, having clearly understood that my father had dropped his weapon and he had turned his face away from he had turned his face away from taking up the weapon. So Shastra Grahana Vimukham Tatam Nischayena Upalabhya. So knowing for certain that my father was not inclined to using the weapon, Shankam Tyaktva, without any doubt. Now, without any doubt, without any scruples. So, Shankam Tyaktva, Asya Uttamange Panim Vidadhataha Tava Te. So, Tatam Shastragrahana Vimukham Nischayena Upalabhya Shankam Tyaktva. Sorry. Shankam Tyaktva Asya Uttamange Panim Vidataha Te. Te is here in the last line. Okay. So you who were placing your hand on his Uttamanga. Uttamanga here refers to Shiras. So when you placed your hand on Drona's head, even after knowing for certain, Nischayena Upalabhya. Upalambhaha nama understanding, Nyatva. So having known for certain that my father was not inclined to using the weapon, you, without any doubt, when you placed your hand on his head, te smritim Ashwathama na yataha kim. Did you not think about Ashwathama? The adjectives here are two for Ashwathama. He's talking about himself here. Karadhrita Danahu Ashwathama. Ashwathama who has a bow in his hand and who is like the Pralaya Pavana, who is like the destruction, the wind during destruction. Pralaya Pavanaha, which can easily ukshepa, which can easily throw away the Sena, the army of Pandavas and Panchala, Drupada's army, like a cotton. So the Pandu, Panchala, Sena, Tula, Ukshepe, Pralaya Pavanaha, Iva. So this is a Paramparita Rupakam. So the army is compared to cotton here, Tula, and Ashwathama is like the wind that can easily throw out this cotton. In the form of the forces, it can blow out Ukshepa, it can blow out the cotton in the form of these armies of Pandu and Panchala. So did that Ashwathama not come to your mind at all? தாத்தம் சஸ்திரகிரகண விமுகம் நிச்சயேன உபலப்ய. இந்த இடத்துல பரம்பரித்த ரூபகம்னு போடல. எஸ், ஓ ஓகே, எஸ் எஸ் எஸ், பரம்பரித்த ரூபகம். வை ஏகதேச ரூபகம் இஸ் ஜஸ்ட் ஒன் விஷயி ஆரோபः, whereas if you have one விஷயி ஆரோபः is done based on another விஷயி ஆரோபः, then there is a parampara there. So in order to achieve this ashwathama eva pavanaha, tatra sena tula ukshepe saha pavanaha iti. So there is that one rupakam which serves as an angam to the other rupakam. So there is a parampara, chain kind of thing. तातं शस्त्रग्रहण विमुखं निश्चयेनोपलभ्य त्यक्तं त्यक्त्वा शङ्कां खलु विदधतः पाणिमस्योत्तमाङ्गे अश्वत्थामा करधृतधनुः पाण्डुपाञ्चालसेनातूलोक्षेप प्रलयपवनः किं न यातः स्मृतिं ते. No. Oh, sorry. I keep forgetting this last line here. Yudhishthira. Ajatashatru. Now his anger turns towards Yudhishthira because he was the one whom Drona believed and he left his weapon. So Yudhishthira, Ajatashatru. Idella and in a sarcastic way he has to say this. Or no, in a way, I believed that you were a person who did not have any shatru at all. Amithyavadin, one who does not speak a falsehood. Dharmaputra, he is called as Dharma's putra. Yamadharmarajasya putraha saha iti. So Dharmaputraha tasya amshat jataha khalu sanujasya te kim anena apakritam. What did Drona do to you along with your brothers? So Sanujasya te refers to, see, he has actually treated every one of your brother also as his favorite here. He has given so much of vidya to all five of you. Why did you say such a falsehood towards him? Why did you have to lie towards him? Athava kim anena alika prakriti jimma chetasa. Arjuna, kim anena alika prakriti Jimha Chetasa. This is Alikana Puyana or Prakriti Iyarkai Mithya Swabhavaha Adanala Kutila Manasaha. Okay, one who has a very crooked, which is naturally crooked. Alikana naturally untruthful. Abdi Anena Alika Prakriti, one who has a swabhavam which is by nature not true. So alika prakriti, because of that your mind is crooked. So it is because of that crooked mind that you have, which is born out of a naturally untruthful nature. That is why you have done this karyam.
Is that the way? Or I was thinking, இல்லன்னா இவனோட பேச்சு இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ஜிம்ம சேதசா கிம் இது
அனேன கிம் இது அவனோட என்ன பேச்சுங்கிறத விட கிம் அனேன அபகிருதம்ங்கிறச்சு கிம் துரோணேன அபகிருதம் அதவா ஓகே அப்படி யுதிஷ்டிரேன அஸ்மாக்கம் து கிம் பிரயோஜனம் அதுனா கிமர்த்தம் தத்ர வக்தவ்யம் இது.
What I was thinking, he said, okay, Yudhishthira is useless. Let me not think about Arjuna and Madhava and the others.
Okay. Why do I have to think about Yudhishthira right now? Let me about that person who is naturally crooked and untruthful. Okay. Yeah. Adu fittardu. Okay. Arjuna, Satyake, Bahushalin, Vrikodara, Madhava, युक्तन्नाम भवतां सुरासुर मनुज लोकैक धनुर्धरस्य द्विजन्मनः परिणत वयसः सर्व आचार्यस्य विशेषतः मम पितुः अमुना द्रुपद कुल कलंकेन मनुज पशुना स्पृश्यमानम् उत्तमांगम् उपेतम्. युक्तं नाम, it is indeed fitting, or yuktam nama, it is a question here. Was it proper on your part to ignore what happened to my father? So, hey Arjuna, Satyaki, Bahushalin Vrikodara, who is also strong right now, and Madhava. Bahushali, Bahuna, one whose arms are Shalate, one whose arms are shining because he has so much of strength. So Bahushalin Vrikodara, Madhava, Krishna, Yuktam Nama, is it right on your part, Bhavatam, to upetam, that you have ignored uttamangam sprishyamanam upetam, that you have ignored the touching of his head by Drupada Kula Kalankena Manuja Pashuna, by Drishtadyumna, who is a kalanka, who is a stain in the Drupada's family, and who is like a pashu among, who is like an animal among human beings. So Manuja Pashuna Drupada Kula Kalankena Sprishyamanam Uttamangam Upetam, that is Uttamangam Sprishyamanam Upetam. It has been ignored by all of you. Bhavatam Upetam. That, was it correct on your part to ignore that he had touched my father's head? So here everything else is now Shashti Ekavajanam as an adjective to Drona. Surasura Manuja Lokaika Dhanurdharasya. One who is the Ekadhanurdharaha, who is the only archer among all three worlds. Right? Sura, Asura and Manuja. So he is the sole archer. So Ekadhanurdharaha refers to Anupama, one who cannot be incomparable, archer in all of the three worlds, which is Swarga, Suranam Loka, Asuranam Loke, Manujanam Loke cha Ekadhanurdharaha Ayameva Dronaha. Dvijanmanaha, he is also a Brahmana by birth. Parinata Vayasaha, who had advanced in age, who was older. Sarva Acharyasya, he was also the Acharya teacher for everybody. Visheshataha Mama Pituhu. And in particular, he was especially my father. So, is it right on your part to allow this to happen? I am Athava, sure. Okay. Athava sarve eva ete patakinaha. Otherwise, everybody is a sinner here. No, I can't single out each one and say, this is, why did you do this? Was it right on your part? Otherwise, let ellathiyu ottu mattama podran. Ippada. So he says, everybody is a sinner right now. What do I care about all of these people? Why should I single out each one of them and ask them? Instead, he just combines all of them in the shloka and says, Kritam, Anumatam, Drishtam va yairidam gurupatakam, Manuja Pashubihi, Nirmaryadaihi, Bhavadbihi, Udayudaihi, Naraka Ripuna Sardham Tesham Bhima Kiritinam, Ayamaham Asrang Medo Mamsaihi Karomi Disham Balit. எல்லாரையும் ஒரேடிக்கா சொல்லிடுறேன், உங்க மாம்சத்தை வச்சு நான் திக்குக்கு பலி கொடுத்துடுறேன். ஒரு இதெல்லாம் this is all ரௌத்ர ரசம். This is not veera rasam here. See, this kind of going beyond maryada, yuddha maryada or loka maryada is reflective of krodha, not utsaha. Kritam, anumatam, drishtam va. So that which was done by someone. Idam guru patakam. This guru pataka, this kind of a sin towards guru, this great sin, or towards a guru, or a sin towards gurau patakam, athava guru cha idam patakancha. So guru patakam. It can be such a great sin, like a maha, like a pancha maha patakam iva atrapi. Khalu? So guru patakam iti, you can take it as a very great sin, or you can take it as a sin towards one's guru, because he is an elder of both sides. He is an elderly person. He is an elder for the lineage also, because he is an acharya. Atratu purvam sarvam visheshanam dattam khalu. So that kind of he demands that kind of a respect. So gurau patakam, a sin with respect to acharya here. Yaihi idam kritam, by those who did this, or anumatam, those who agreed to this, those who gave permission for this, allowed it, or those who even witnessed this action. Drishtam. So, kritam anumatam drishtam va yaihi idam gurupatakam. Those people, he qualifies all of those people because they are all manuja pashubihi nirmaryadaihi udayudaihi bhavadbihi yaihi idam gurupatakam kritam anumatam va. So, you are all equal to manuja pashubihi. Manujeshu pashuvate ye charanti. Te. So those who are all animals among men, and they do not have any maryada. They have crossed the bounds of niyati here. Nirmaryadaha. They don't have any limit to their actions here. Udayudaihi. Even with weapons, you were all looking at this, you accepted this, and the persons who perpetrated this action also. Right? So kritam anumatam drishtam va udayudaihi tesham naraka ripuna sardham tesham sa bhima kiritinam tesham naraka ripuna sardham asrin medo mamsaihi meda mamsaihi la medo mamsaihi irkanum அப்படிதான் எனக்கு மெமரி medo mamsaihi, yes. So, ayam aham asrin medo mamsaihi disham balim karomi. Tesham asrik medo mamsaihi. With their blood, medas, fat and mamsa, flesh, I will give bali to the dik. Idella bali na offerings, which means he will cut them, he will not only kill them, but also take out their remains and offer it as an offering to dik. Digdevatas. So Naraka Ripuna Sardham, along with the Naraka Ripu, Narakasurasya Ripuna Sardham, Krishnena Saha. கிருஷ்ணனோட கூட எல்லாரையும் சேர்த்து ஒட்டுமொத்தமா போட்டுறேங்கிறான். So sa bhima kiriti atra arjunah bhima kiritinam saha sardha naraka ripuna sardham with Krishna, along with Krishna, I will offer an bali to the quarters, to the Digdevatas, with the blood, fat and flesh of all of those, including Bhima Kiriti, which is Arjuna, and along with Krishna, the enemy of Narakasura. சரியா? இதெல்லாம் ஒரு ரொம்ப ரௌத்ரம். I'm just trying to see if there is any.
The poet has showed the essence of the inner workings of the son, who is so attached to his father and who has in such a who's killed in such a horrific manner in that part. I think it's a very great job of capturing the psychological state of Ashwatthama.
Yeah, this is the best section of entire Venisamharam. Idu aprom first act is also beautiful. This is his only text, and he has done an amazing job of bringing out the emotions so beautifully. Some very very nice to appreciate the whole thing also. Adla vandu yeah, go on.
First part enna sonneenga, this one, and what is the other one?
First act la nanna irukumne. First act liyum vandu and Bhima's vratham illaya, and edathla dhaan where Krishna enters he comes to see Duryodhana in his sabha, and then Bhima makes the pratignya, adella irukadla, and nanna irukum and edamo padikala illaya, padikano. It's a very beautiful section. So in the innun I wanted to mention, so in Dhvanyalokam usually நம்ம என்ன சொல்லுவோம்னா, when you want to express krodha, let's say it's a very extreme emotion that you want to express, either bibhatsam or krodha, mainly for krodha, raudra rasam, there has to be ojas guna. So ojas guna does not depend on the samasta padam. So samasta padam can be separate also. This is an example that Dhvanyalokakara takes to say that it is not, there are no long samasta padas in this shlokam, yet it is able to reveal that krodha sthayi bhava, and ojas guna is very clearly shown here, and the strength of expression is there engarthukku. Actually, இதுல இருந்து நிறைய examples they take for both in Kavya Prakasha and Dvanyalokam, they take examples from Venisamharam. For both guna and dosham. ரெண்டுத்துக்கும் உண்டு உங்களுக்கு. கிருதம் அனுமதம் திருஷ்டம் வா யைரிதம் குருபாதகம் மனுஜ பசுபிஹி நிர்மர்யாதைஹி பவத்பிஹி உதாயுதைஹி நரக ரிபுணா சார்த்தம் தேஷாம் சபீம கிரீட்டினாம் அயமாஹம் அயம் அகம் கரோமி. ஸோ தோ நா அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி இட்ஸ் வித் all sorts of pride, and at the same time he is going through so much of emotion because of his father's death. So ayam aham iti ayam aham asrang medo mamsaihi karomi disham balim vatsa kinna sambhavyate bharadwajatulye bahushalini divyastra grama kovide bhavati. Kripa says what is not possible, even that is possible by you who are possible in you. அதாவது பவத் விஷயே கிண்ண சம்பாவ்யதே. Why is it why could it be what is not possible in you who are shining with this Bahushalini, who shines with a great prowess, Bharadwaja Tulye, who is also equal to Drona, Bharadwaja in prowess, in that same kind of archery, you are also equal to him. Divya Astra Grama Kovide, one who is Kovida, an expert in the grama also samuham, divyastra, in the entire, in a number of divine astras, you are also an expert right now. What is not possible for you, everything is possible. ஏத்தி விடுற மாதிரி இருக்கு கூட இருந்து.
Chaturthi like Kovideti,
no Kovide Kovidaha, so Kovide Kovide bhavati also is in Saptami Vibhakti here. Ashwathama bhobho Pandava Matsya Somaka Magadheyaha Kshatriya Apasadaha. So the Kshatriya lowly people of Kshatriyas who belong to the Kshatriya kulam, Pandava, Matsya, Somaka and Magadeya, these are all different kulam that he is addressing and saying Pitur Murdhri Sprishte Jvala Danala Bhasvat Parashuna Kritam Yadramena Shrutim Upagatam Tanna Bhavatam Kim Adya Ashwathama Tadari Rudhira Asara Vighasam Na Karma Krodandaha Prabhavati Vidhatum Ranamuke. Pitur Murdhni Sprishte, when my father was touched by you, that is he's calling, Drona is Parashurama's student, illa?
Yeah, he got all the weapons from him.
So he is reminding the Kshatriyas of Parashurama's episode when Parashurama's father went through the same thing. Now, when his father was killed by Haihaya, Kartavirya Arjuna, Parashurama also took his parashu. He took up his axe and did the same thing. That is, he went on a revenge path, right? He killed a lot of Kshatriyas. Don't you remember that? Haven't you heard of that story? So he is actually trying to say that his guru acted in a very revengeful manner. Don't you remember that? I will do the same thing right now. Iti. So pituhu murdhni sprishte. Atra pituhu iti dronasya murdhni na jamadagnehe. Parashuramasya pituhu jamadagnehe murdhni sprishte sati. When his head was touched, that is when it was touched by Kartavirya Arjuna to kill him, Jwalat Anala Bhaswat Parashuna Ramena Yat Kritam Tat Bhavatam Shrutim Na Upagatam Kim. Okay. That which was done by Parashurama using his parashu, using his axe, which was bhasvat, which was shining with like fire. So jwalat anala bhasvat parashu. So jwalad anala iva bhaswan parashuhu. Tarhi tatra upama. Okay, very clearly it is an upama there. So because there is the sadharana dharma also given. So bhaswat parashuhu iti. So jwaladanana bhaswat parashuna, with his weapon, that is the axe that was shining like the blazing fire, yat ramena kritam. Yat Bharadwajaramena Kritam, Bhargavaramena, that which was done by, sorry, Bhargavarama. So that which was done by Parashurama, Tat Bhavatam Shrutim na Upakatam Kim. Did you not hear about that? So that Kim Adya Ashwathama Tad Arirudhira Asara Vighasam Karma Krodhandaha Ashwathama Rana Mukhe Vidhatum Na Prabhavati Kim. Can't Ashwathama do the same thing that Parashurama did before for the sake of his father? Is it not true that I think you should take the Kim for both the first line and the second line here, and he has very beautifully put it in the middle right now. It becomes easier for us to take it for the first line and the second line. Illana edavadu samapta punaratta and the madri edavadu doshangal vandrum. Instead of that, it's very beautifully placed in the middle right now. So Kim Shrutipatam na agatam. Tadanantaram atra adya Ashwathama, who is blinded by anger, Krodhandaha, son, tat karma, the same action that is in the form of Ari Rudhira Asara Vighasam. Vighasam here is an offering of food. Vighasaha nama, it is usually an offering that is done to, as a shesham. You give that. Bhukta shesham yat balitvena tatra diyate tattu vighasam iti uchyate. So, adadu, you eat the uchishtam, anything that is uchishta, what you eat and then you have something left over. If you offer it, you usually offer it to yaksha, asuras and rakshasa, or nishachara. You offer those to that kind of people. That is called vighasa. So, Bhukta Shesham. So wouldn't I offer the blood, Ari Rudhira, the blood of the enemies? Here Asara iti. So the shower of enemies' blood will be offered as a Vighasa to the Digdevatas right now. Because anga mundina shlokatla, in the earlier shloka it was there as Digdevatas, so I'm just taking it here also. If you offer it in the south and southwest, Nairuti. So அதெல்லாம் வந்து அவளுக்கு பலி போகும் இல்லையா. ஸோ விகசம் என்ன வேல் கொற்றவை ஆல்சோ ஆமாம். ஸோ யுத்தே து தத் சியாதேவ, அதெல்லாம் கொஞ்சம் மோர் ஆஃப் அ ரௌத்ரம் ஆக்டிவிட்டி அங்கே இல்லையா. ஸோ அஸ்வத்தாமா Krodhandaha Ashwathama being blinded with rage, would he not be able to do today? Vidhatum na prabhavati kim kutra ranamukhe, at the battlefield, offering the same action that is in the form of vighasa, offering of bhukta shesham, offering of a shower of blood, rudhira asara vrishtihi kesham arina. Did you not think about it? Pituhu murdhni sprishte jwaladhanala bhasvat parashuna kritam yadramena shrutim upagatam tanna bhavatam kim adya ashwathama tadari rudhira asara vighasam na karma krodhandaha prabhavati vidhatum ranamukhe. There are many alankaras here. So the first one is upama alankara. Rudhirasaraha eva vighasam. So that can be rupaka alankara. Krodhandaha krodhena andhaha. இது என்ன தெரியல, கீழே போட்டிருக்காரா பார்க்குறேன் ஒரு நிமிஷம். பரசுராமேண பிதுஹு விநாசேன யதா சர்வக்ஷத்ரியவதः கிருதः ததா அஹமபி பிதுர்விநாசேன சர்வாசாம் பாண்டவச்சமூனாம் மதம் கரிஷ்யாமி இத்யர்த்தः. That's all he says. Doesn't give any alankara here. நம்ம போட்டுக்க வேண்டியதுதான். Krodhandaha வேண்டாம் ஆக்சுவலி. Krodhena andaha அது வந்து it's more like lakshana there, that's all. So you don't need dhvani வேணா அந்த இடத்துல you can take it as dhvani to indicate the krodha sthayi bhava. Pitur murdhni, because it is avivekitvam, so that it's a lakshana muludhvani that gives up. அது பரவாயில்ல. ஸோ அந்தத்வம் நாஸ்தி சாட்சாத் தத்ர நேத்திர வைக்கல்யம் ந திருஷ்ய ந உக்தம் கிந்து யூ டேக் இட் ஆஸ் த துவனி ஹியர் இஸ் he doesn't have that viveka. அதுதான் முக்கியம். ஏன்னா if he had that thinking capacity at that point of time, then he would not offer blood as an offering. Bhukta shesham ityuktam. It's like something very similar to Bhima's pratignya. Pitur murdhni sprishte ज्वलदनल भास्वत् परशुना कृतं यद्रामेण श्रुतिम् उपगतं तन्न भवतां किमद्य अश्वत्थामा तद् अरि रुधिर आसार विघसं न कर्म क्रोधान्धः प्रभवति विधातुं रणमुखे. सूत गच्छत्वं सर्व उपकरणैः साङ्ग्रामिकैः सर्व आयुधैः उपेतं महाहव लक्षणं नाम अस्मत् स्यन्दनम् उपनय. Bring my syandanam, my ratham, my chariot, which is called Mahahava. இந்த கத்திய சங்கிரகத்துல படிச்சோம்ல, ஒரு an elephant's name ஆஹவ கோலாகலமா இல்ல என்ன கரெக்டா? ஆஹவ கோலாகலம்.
Yes.
ஆஹவ கோலாகலம். ஆமா
அதானே
மகத தேசம்
மாலவேஷயோஹோ யுத்தமா அதுலயா? அந்த மாதிரி இங்க he has named his vehicle, his ratham as Mahahava, big battle அப்படின்னு. சர்வாயுதைஹி உபேதம், that which is equipped with all of the weapons which are sangramikaihi. sangrame bhavam sangramikam or sangrame upayuktam. sangramikam nu eduthikalam. That which is sangrame sadhu, sorry, sangrame sadhu, that which is sadhu, which is used very appropriate for a battle. sangramikaihi sarvayudaihi sarva upakaranaihi, and other tools which are also useful in a battle. It is well equipped with that. Bring my chariot, which is called Mahahava. Yad Ajñapayati Kumaraha iti Nishkrantaha. So the charioteer goes out. Now that his master is not there, now he becomes probably the charioteer of Ashwatthama right now. So Kripaha Vatsa Avashya Pratikartavye Asmin Darune Nikara Agnau Sarvesham Asmakam Kaha Anyaha Tvamantarena Shaktaha Pratikartum Kintu. So Kripa says, hey Vatsa, child, avashya pratikartavye. Yes, this is a point where this is something that has to be avenged. You have to do a pratikaryam, right? That is true, I accept. And darune, it is also a terrible nikara agno, and this is like a fire of humiliation, right? Nikara nama, it's an insult. In this case of a fearful insult, which is very terrible and which is something that has to be avenged. Avashya pratikartavye sarvesham asmakam, among all of us, tvam antarena, other than you, anyaha kaha pratikartum shaktaha, who is the best person to take revenge in this matter? Yet he stops there. So Ashwatthama says, Kim ataf param? நான் தான் பெஸ்ட்னு சொல்லியாச்சு, அப்புறம் என்ன அப்படிங்க. So what else do you want at this point? So Kripa says, Sainapatye abhishichya bhavantam ichchami samarabhuvam avatarayitum. I want to make you get into the battlefield. Avatarayitum, உன்னை இறக்கணும்னு பார்க்கறேங்கிறார் எங்க பேட்டில்ஃபீல்ட்ல. So tvam bhavantam samarabhumim avatarayitum ichchami katham sainapatye abhishichya. Having coronated you as the senapati, or having installed you as the having appointed you as the senapati or sainapatye, senapatehe karma sainapatyam. So having appointed you in the position of a senapati, a commander of the army, I want you to get into the battlefield. No, not without a position. Ashwatthama, see, அந்த இடத்துல he doesn't lose his என்ன சொல்றது focus in a way. Paratantram idam akinchit karamcha. This is paratantramidam. The position of Senapati depends upon another person. That is, the king has to appoint the Senapati. I don't have a swatantrata in getting that position right now. So paratantram, it belongs to, it depends on somebody else. And at the same time, akinchitkaram, it's of no use. It's not going to solve any problem here. What am I going to do because of that position? I don't need it. Vatsa na khalu paratantram na akinchitkarancha pashya. He says it is not dependent on another person, nor is it of no consequence. There is, you can't, it's not that you cannot achieve anything. You can. What is it that he is saying? So pashya bhaved abhimam adronam dhartarashtra balam katham yadi tattulya kakshaha atra bhavan dhurina yujyate. How can the Kaurava army be? How can it be without Bhishma and without Drona? Abhishmam, Adronam, Dhartarashtra balam, Katham bhavet? How would it exist even? How would the army of Kauravas, Dhritarashtra, exist without Bhishma and without Drona if you were not occupying the position of responsibility? Tattulya kakshaha, you who are equal to those two. You are equal to both Bhishma and Drona right now. And bhavan dhuri na yujyate chet katham bhavet? If you have not been given the responsibility of bearing the, commanding the army, you who are equal to both of them. So tulya kaksha na, in the same slot. You who are actually, who can be placed in the same slot as both Bhishma and Drona, if you were not leading them, how will the army of Dhritarashtra survive? Bhaved avishmam adronam dhartarashtra balam katam yadi tattulya kakshaha atra bhavan dhurina yujyate. So kritaparikarasya bhavadrishasya trailokyamapi nakshamam paripanthi bhavitum kim punar yaudhishtira bhalam. When you are Kritaparikarasya, Kritaparikaraha nama Baddha Parikaraha, Kritaparikaraha, one who has taken a vow right now. So, adadu kachangatinde readiya irkarche abdin artham Kritaparikaraha. So, Baddha kachaha yaha tadrishasya tava Trailokyamapi nakshamam paripanthi bhavitum Shatru rupena tatra sthatum Trailokyamapi nakshamam. It is not possible for anybody in the entire world or all the three worlds to stand in front of you as a Shatru. Paripanthi nale, one who is standing as an obstacle in the way. So paripanthi bhavitum, panthaha, illa, paripathaha. Eppadi varudhu? Paripanthi Shatru Bhavitum Potutar. Paripanthinaha. So Paripanthi da. Okay. So Paripanthi itself is the Pratipadikam here. Paripanthi Panthino Panthinaha. Abdi solma. Okay. Shatru. So nobody in these three worlds can stand against you as a Shatru. So what to talk of anybody from the Yudhishthira's army. So Yudhishthira balam kim punaha. So what to say of the army of Yudhishthira? Definitely they don't stand a chance in front of you. Tadevam manye parikalpita abhisheka upakaranaha Kauravarajaha na chirat twameva abhyapekshamanaha tishtati iti. So Kripa assuredly he says, tadevam manye. So I think parikalpita abhisheka upakaranaha. Duryodhana, who has all the upakaranam, the tools necessary for abhisheka, that is to appoint him as a senapati. Parikalpita abhisheka upakaranaha. Parikalpita sangrahita. Abhishekartham yani upakaranani santi tat sarvam tena parikalpitam iti. Duryodhanena tadrishaha bhutva Kauravarajaha, the king of the Kauravas, nachirat, very quickly, twameva abhyapekshamanaha tishtati iti. I think he is expecting you, he is waiting. Tishtati abhyapekshamanaha. I think he is waiting for you to approach him and he is waiting with the necessary tools to appoint you as a senapati. Ashwathama, yadi evam tvarate me paribhava anala dakhyamanam idam chetaha tat pratikara jala avagahanaya. Yadi evam, if that is the case, he believes Kripa here, and he says, if that is so, then my heart seems to go fast. That is, it is running to get into the revenge mode. So, tvarate me chetaha. My mind is rushing. Paribhava anala dakhyamanam idam chetaha. My mind which is burning because of this paribhava anala, insult, fire of insult. So, Rupakalankara again. So, my mind which is dakhyamanam, which is constantly burning with the fire of insult, seems to tvarate, it seems to rush to jala avagahanaya, tat pratikara jala avagahanaya. In order to extinguish fire, you have to plunge yourself into the water. So here, plunging into revenge is like a water to get rid of that fire of insult in his mind. Beautiful. This is also Paramparita Rupakam here. Tat pratikaraha eva jalam. Achieving a revenge is water here. So my mind is rushing to plunge itself, avagahanam, to immerse itself in the water in the form of revenge or retaliation. Tadaham gatva tata vadha vishanna manasam kurupatim sainapatya swayangrahana pranaya samashvasanaya mandasantapam karomi. So he feels that Kuru Raja, Kaurava Raja, Duryodhana, right now his mind is completely upset right now because he has lost two of his great warriors, which is Bhishma and Drona. Bhishma lasted the longest, yeah. So Paribhava Anala, Tata Vadha Vishanna Manasam Kurupatim, the king of Kurus, Duryodhana, whose mind is Vishanna, very upset or sad because of the killing of Drona. I will go and make his mind Mandasantapam karomi. I will pacify him, Mandasantapam karomi, by Samashvasanaya, by consoling him, Pranaya Samashvasanaya. Pranayamங்கிறது வந்து offering the consolation, the offering consoling words in the form of saying that I myself will take up Senapatyam. So Sainapatya Swayangrahana Pranayaha Eva Samashvasanam. Tat Samashvasanaya, by consoling him with the offer of friendship, with the offer of friendship, saying that Swayangrahana, I myself will take up this Senapatitvam, the post. Iti uktva tena manda santapam karomi. I will reduce the trouble or the misery that he has in his mind. Kripa. Vatsa evamidam. That is the appropriate action. Ataha tameva uddesham gacchavaha. So let's go to the place where Duryodhana is. Iti parikramataha. They both roam. Karna and Duryodhana enter. Okay.